Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Nomaka Monaheng. I love sewing a lot, and on my channel I share home sewing projects as well as DIY clothes videos that are easy to do. Today we'll be learning how to do a tired or a baby doll dress. As you see, mine has 2 panels at the bottom. Hope you like it. Let's get into it. So what you will need your scissors, your safety pins, your tape measure, a t-shirt that fits you perfectly. I'll be using a pattern because this is my current size right now, and fabrics in your favorite color. So you will take your top fabric and fold it, and then take your t-shirt, fold it up as well in half, and then you can also fold the bottom like this, and then cut all around as well as that sleeve section as well. I'll be showing you how to cut it out using a pattern. It's still the same technique. After cutting it out, take your fabric down and cut out the second piece. So you'll be cutting this on the back pattern, right? When you are done cutting the back pattern, you will then go and cut your front. So I went down by about 6 centimeters. And you cut right through to the inner shoulder, and you move to the back piece. On the back piece, we're going to cut it in half because we're going to have our opening there. When you're done, it will look like this. And then I love to do facings. Make sure that your garment looks neat on the inside and it hides away all the cuttings if you don't have an overlocker. So facings, you cut half of the part, and then I'm cutting it 2 times because the back is divided into 2 now. Pin everything down. For my front facing, I made it longer because I'm using cotton and it's very see-through. And then from here, we're going to go and sew from the shoulder right into the neck and the other shoulder as well. So when you are done sewing, it will look like this. And then you will notice that your neck is not lying flat, so go in there and notch the material. Make sure that you don't cut your stitches like I'm doing. And if you also give it a good press, everything will lie flat nicely. So this is what it looks like now. All right, and then another thing that I like to do is to make sure that the trimmings on the inside lie flat as well. So fold them into the direction of the facings, sew it down. When you're done sewing down, it will look like this. You see, it looks much neater and flatter than on the other side where it's bulky. Now we'll do facings for the back. When you're doing the facings for the back, you go and sew there by the shoulders as well as the neck, and then leave the opening side. I lost some footage, so what I did is that I combined the 2 back panels, and then from the top I measured about 15 centimeters coming down, and then sew from that point down to the waist area. So I'll show you now. After you are done sewing, leave the top open. It will look something like this. From here, then I'll show you how to put in the button and the elastic band. If you don't have the elastic, what you will do, you can still use the material that you are using. On the left panel, you're going to hem it twice, one, and the second fold should match the stitch that we have at the bottom. Pin everything down like I am doing now. So you're pinning underneath because here we're going to do a top stitch, right? So it looks nice. And then on the right panel, you're going to fold it once, and then you're going to put your elastic or the material that you'll be using. So just pin it once, fold it once, and then we are going to sew. You're only going to sew from where the facing ends. We're going to fold it once there and hold down the elastic as well. And to make sure it's nicely secured, go again and backstitch on that elastic. And then this is what it looks like. Now we're going to go and fold the second time. When you fold the second time, it matches the stitching at the bottom. You fold your elastic back to how you're going to put it over your button. And then now we're going to top stitch everything. So I just want to show you how you go about it when you get to the edge. Sew there and backstitch, and then sew again, and then we go to the other end of our top. So when it's done, it will look something like this. This is just to show you what to do if you don't have an elastic. Take your material that you're using, fold it in two, and then there you have it. From here now we're going to combine our front and our back piece, pin the shoulders as well as the sides, and then we're gonna go and sew them. When we are done sewing, turn it the right side out, and it looks like that. So now we are going to do our sleeves. Fold your material for your sleeves in half like that. Put down your sleeve, pin it down. And then another thing that you need to do is measure how long you want your sleeve to be. Mine were about 26 centimeters, including the seam allowance. Draw out the sleeve curve. When you are done, cut that out all around. That is just one sleeve. Take the sleeve that you've cut and then put it again on the folded material and cut out the second sleeve. When you're done, the sleeves will look like this. Remember, we're putting another panel of sleeve at the bottom of this one. Firstly, you will sew close that side. When you are done sewing and closing it up, we're now going to put in our purple panel. So we want it together there. What you do, put your machine at your longest stitch, which is about 4 for my machine, and just sew a straight line right there, just at the edge. So for me, it was about 0.5 centimeters. These are both the panels combined. And then you have 2 strands coming out of that panel, right? What you need to do before you pull them is to make sure that whatever you need fits nicely. So you see, we still have space for us to pull the thread. Separate the 2 threads and pull one and see which one is working. So when you pull it like that, you start pushing the gathering softly, making sure you don't break your cotton. When you reach the desired size, you then sew the side close. When you're sewing it close, this is what it will look like when you open it up. The top sleeve is facing right side up, just like how you're gonna wear it. Take the bottom of your sleeve now and make the right sides to face each other, so the sleeve is on the outside while they are facing each other on the right sides. So pin everything down and sew right under the first stitch that we did. So to make things easy, you can take the bottom of your machine like that, circle your sleeve around, and then sew in circles smoothly like that. When you are done then sewing that bottom of your sleeve, it will look something like this, and it's perfect. And both my sleeves are now done. We just need to fit them on the top. So the top, it's on the right side now. Turn it around. The wrong side will now be facing the outside. Your sleeve, the right side, is still facing the right side. So put it inside there. Now the right sides are facing each other on the inside, right? Pin everything all around, and then we're gonna go and sew. So make sure everything lines up nicely to give you all the pleats and everything you want on your shoulder. When you're done, it will look like this. All the lines must align, and we are done with our top part. To put in the tiers now, what you need to do is to measure the bottom of the top. My measurement was 122 centimeters. You take that 122 centimeters, multiply it by 1.3 to get the size of the first tier. If you look here, these are my measurement. So my waist is 122 multiplied by 1.3. It gave me 159 centimeters, and my width for the top tier was 40 centimeters. Then for the second tiers, I take that 159 centimeters, multiply it by 1.3 again, and I got 207 centimeters with the width 32 centimeters. So what we need to do now is to put the first tier as well as the second tier to our dress. My fabric was not long enough, so I'm going to go and join the sides together. After joining the side, I also join one for the purple, dark purple. And then when you're done, it will look like tubes like this. So what we need to do is put our stitch on the longest stitch. Mine is at 4, and sew a straight line just at the edge like we did with the sleeves. After sewing that straight line, I just want to explain this slowly. Make sure you have enough thread. There's always a bottom thread from the bobbin and the cotton one on top. Separate them and find one that is easier to pull. When you find that one, start pulling it gently and the fabric will start to gather. So when you do this, keep in mind that it must be the same size as the top. So take that tube and your top and see how far you still need to gather. You see we still have a lot together. So continue to gather it, push it gently, and when you're then satisfied, fit it again. The top is on the right side facing up. Your tier should also be on the right side facing up, right? And then you put on your top from the inside while flipping your tube like that, and then you're gonna go and pin everything down. When you are done pinning everything down, you will go and sew all around. When you are done sewing, it will look like this, and when you open up your dress, the first tier is in. So now let's go for the second tier. You do the same, gather it up and then fit it in. Our dress is facing the right side. Fit in the dress to the bottom tier, pin it down, make sure the sides are lining very well, and you sew. And when you're done putting in your last tier, go do the touch-ups, hem the hands, hem the bottom. If you need to search the inside, do that for that professional look, and you are done. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please put them down below. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Until our next video, hashtag Let's Sew with Kay.